Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Trina. Today I am starting the video off barefaced because I am gonna do a get ready with me using my favorite makeup products. I might have mentioned a lot of them from the past, but I've never really shown you how I used it or how it applied to my skin. So if you guys are just tuning into my channel for the first time, thank you guys for stopping by. I'd really appreciate it if you guys hit the subscribe button and also get notified by hitting that bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Alright you guys, let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be using my Conair, I think it's Conair, like the clip things that you see everybody uses. This has been my favorite for a while because it just doesn't dent my hair or leave any lines on it, but it definitely keeps my hair away from my face. So I'm just gonna do this. I've also already put my skincare on and I have a couple that I still need to do. So the first one is the Laneige Lip Mask, and this one is the original one. This is the lip sleeping mask, and I just use my pinky, a little bit gross, but on my lips. And I do this before I do my makeup just so that my lips are ready. Once I'm done with my whole routine, my lips are conditioned and ready for the lip product that I am gonna put on my lips. Okay, I've now zoomed you guys in so you guys can see the full action happening on my face. I did mention that I did put my skincare on. I want to talk about these two products. The first one is the e.l.f. Illuminating Eye Cream. I absolutely love the formulation of this. I'm almost out of it, so it has like purified water, vitamin E, and I can really feel it moisturizing my under eyes. It doesn't do a lot with under eye circles. I also don't have a lot of darkness under my eyes, thankfully, but I do love how this makes my under eyes feel so moisturized and nourished. Every time I put it on, it has that thick consistency that I feel like makes it last the whole time that I have makeup on, and it doesn't leave my under eyes dry. And then I also wanted to talk about the e.l.f. Hello Hydration Cream. I am almost out of this as well. I am so in love with the formulation of this, the same way that I love the Illuminating Eye Cream. So this formulation is just thick and creamy and just like very hydrating. Absolutely love how this feels. I am almost out, so I need to grab a new one. So I am just very pleased with this. It lasted me about almost like 8 months maybe. I use it every single day, 6 to 8 months I think, and I don't need a lot on my skin. I just like rub it in and it's just amazing. I did use a lot of toners and serums and essences before I put on my moisturizer. That was like the last thing before SPF, but I did mention them before, so I'm not gonna be showing them in this video, but I will link the video where I did talk about my other skincare products. Next, we're gonna head into primers. The one that I have been loving for a long time now is the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business, and this is the Skin Smoothening Primer. Again, the consistency of this is just a little bit silicone-y, but at the same time, I can feel it gripping on, like gripping makeup when I put it on my skin. So the feeling of this is hydrating. It definitely primes my face so that makeup could adhere to my skin better, and the feeling of it is just, like it says, smooth. So I love this, and I also just press it around my nose area. Even though it's not really a pore filling primer, I just feel like it just sinks into my skin more that way. And I also put a little bit on my forehead. My skin is very dry, by the way, if you guys were wondering. Another primer that I've been loving is the L'Oreal Lumi Glo. Don't think they market this as a primer, but it's literally an instant hydration and luminizes an all over fresh, healthy, naked skin glow, and that's exactly what it does. I have it in 904 Deep Glow, and sometimes I just go on with this so that I can put the glow back on my face before I put on foundation. Sometimes I just put this on and it gives color back to my skin. And now that I already have primer, I'm just gonna add it on areas where I feel like the sun will hit my skin first. Next, we're gonna go into foundation. There are a couple of foundations that I wanna show you. So the first one I wanted to mention that has been my favorite is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Foundation. And this foundation is beautiful when you don't want a lot of coverage. When I feel like my skin is doing really well and there aren't any bumps or redness too much or discoloration or dry patches, I definitely use the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. So this foundation just evens out my skin tone, gives me a slight coverage, and it makes my face look really, really fresh and hydrated, and it looks like my skin. So I really, really like this on good skin days. Next foundation that I have been loving is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Wear, and this one has more of a satin finish, and it's so beautiful. It's like a medium, perfect medium coverage, true medium coverage. You can build it up a little bit as well, and go a little bit more on the heavier coverage, but I do like this for its perfect medium coverage. It's not very glowy, so this is the kind of foundation that I think would be perfect with the L'Oreal Glotion that I put on, and I just really like this formulation just because it gives me the coverage but doesn't look heavy on my skin as well. Last foundation that I wanted to talk about is the Flower Light Illusion Foundation. This is a true glowy, dewy foundation, and it just gives your skin that super, super nice glow. I do have to set this foundation though, because it doesn't, it tends to move a little bit if you don't set it on your face. So I need to do a light, very, very light setting of powder when I use this, but it's so beautiful. It gives your skin that natural glow without it looking super, super heavy as well. And if you're into glowy foundations, this is definitely the one that you should try out from the drugstore. It feels very lightweight on my skin as well. It doesn't feel heavy at all, but it does have that coverage that you need as well. This is more, I feel like this is more buildable than the L'Oreal one that I showed you guys. So this one can go from a medium to a full coverage. So I think I am pretty satisfied with the way that this looks. It's so glowy, it's so nice. So next I'm gonna be doing my brows. So I'm just going to show you a couple of products that I have been loving. The first one is the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil, and this one is in Java. I really, really like this. I am a little bit careful when I use this because it can tint my brows really, really quickly. I love the color Java on me. It's not too warm. It's just kind of like my hair, my brow hairs, but just a little bit more deeper. So I'm just gonna use this to outline my brows. I go a little tiny bit, and then I just do the under part and literally just outline where I want it to go. All right, this looks very rough, but once I am done with that, I just use the spoolie on the other side and just distribute the color, diffusing it as much as I can on my brows. I am currently in a stage where I need to do a little bit of structure with my brows. So once I'm done with this, I'm gonna go in with my Dr. Bronner's soap. I think that's how you pronounce it. This one is a white one and it's peppermint, but you don't have to use this particular one. Any soap that you think will go well with your soap brow method, totally do that. I just use this because I feel like it just does the soap brow so well. The only gripe that I have with it is the fact that it is white, so I still need to go over a product that will cancel out that white color of the soap. I'm just gonna go in with my spoolie and I'm gonna spritz that with something that will make it wet. Whatever you wanna use, water could be fine too. And this looks really gross, but I just go like this just to scrape out some soap on it, and then I go over my brows with it. It also helps with the distribution of the Morphe product as well. It looks really intense right now, but that's still gonna die down. Also in photos, this looks so nice because it shows each individual hair strand just like standing. Another product that I enjoy using is the Ardell Stroke Brow. I use mine in soft black. It's just a really nice, I've run out of this, but I have bought a new one. But this one is just really nice when you need to add a little bit of hair-like strokes in certain areas. Sometimes I just use the soap and then I just add this. Just gives it a little bit of definition and hair-like strokes as well. Last product that I want to talk about is the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and I use mine in deep brown. And I just enjoy how this brings color back into my brows, especially if I just use the soap because it is white. I just do a little bit. I don't need a lot of this right now. It does have fibers on it, so it helps with the tinting as well as the extra just like stay put action on my brows, and I really enjoy that. Next, we're gonna move on to the eyes. I have been using the NYX Professional Makeup Skin Tone Eye Primer, and I like the consistency of this more than I do the Essence. I use the Essence I Heart Stage Eye Primer, which I used for a long time back in the day, but recently it just made my lids super sticky, and it just makes my eyeliner transfer from the liner area to my lid, and I would just end up having to remove my makeup before the end of the day, and I really did not enjoy that. So I'm just gonna put this all over my lid, and it has that consistency where it is sticky but not so sticky where it just muddles the makeup when you put the eyeshadow on your eye. Alrighty, wow, it looks like I'm like all brows. This is insane. Oh my gosh. Okay, next I am gonna go in with my eyeshadows. I wanted to talk about the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadows, and I have them in Cream and Sugar and Truffles. So one is warm and then the other one is more cooler tone. I am gonna be mixing both of them. I'm just gonna go in with this color right here. It's just a nice transition shade. So I'm gonna get a fluffy brush. I really like these shadows just because they're so affordable, but the payoff is so nice, and the mattes blend really well, and the creams or the shimmers are so pigmented. Just a very nice light wash. I only did a little bit, but it still paid off on my crease area. Next, I'm gonna go in with the Cream and Sugar shade, and I am using this guy right here. I'm just gonna use this metallic shade in the bunch. Just gonna use my finger, and I'm just gonna press it on my lids. I feel like this is just the best way that you can use this. And I have tried brushes too, but I feel like my finger just gives it a nice wash, and it's more just like for an everyday look. I usually could just stop there, put on a liner, or not put on a liner. Either way, this is just the basic of the basic that I would do. The reason why I also love these shadows is just because they're versatile. You can take it from day to night. So you could go with like a darker brown and then put it on your outer V area, or even smoke it out on your lash line. If I wanted to take this further, I would take a smaller fluffy brush, and I would take that darker brown shade, and I would just tap that lightly on the outer V just to give it a little more depth. And then I'm just gonna use another fluffy brush and just blend. That is the eyes done. Today I'm not gonna use an eyeliner because there isn't an eyeliner that I have been super loving, except for the ones that I've talked about for a million years. But now I'm gonna move on to concealer. For my corrector concealer, I've been enjoying the NYX Medium Deep Circle Concealer, and it's just a peachy tone that I think is really nice for my skin tone. I can use a brush, but sometimes I just use my finger with it, and then it just melts with my touch. So it just gives it a little bit more of a peachy undertone so that it corrects my dark circles. Another one that I wanted to talk about, which I've been loving, this one I usually put before my foundation. This is the Multi-Use Concealer by Maybelline. It's the Instant Age Rewind, and this one is in light or brightening. I'm so sorry. This one is in brightening, and it just definitely brightens your under eyes. So I just use that, and then I put on a concealer as well. Another kind of concealer, and I just feel like it just brightens my under eyes just so well. But today I'm not going to use it. I just wanted to mention it. For my concealers, I am going to match it with my foundation, and this one I've been loving for a long time now. The first time I tried it, I couldn't stop using it, and I still use it to this day. I still reach for it every now and then, and this is the Flower Light Illusion Concealer. I have two shades that I use. So I've been talking about this on my Instagram a lot, Instagram stories. So I'm gonna use this one is in light, which is a brighter color. It's a yellow undertone concealer, and I'm just gonna dot one right there. And then I'm gonna dot one on this side too. I don't need a lot of concealer. That's one thing that I have been practicing recently. You don't need, I personally don't like putting like triangled, like heavy concealer the way that I used to. I'm just gonna dot one on the other end, a little bit over here. This is a different color now. This one is in light medium. So I mix my concealers just to get the desired shade that I want, because I want it to be lighter on the inside and just like the same color of my skin tone over on this side. So I use my pinky finger. This is what I do, and I tap until I feel like that has enough coverage. And I've learned this from Robert Welsh. I think that's the name of his channel. He's a makeup artist. As you can see, like that is enough coverage for me, especially since I don't want to do like super heavy makeup. I'm not into like Instagram makeup anymore. So I've been using this method a lot. And then once I feel like the coverage on this area is enough, I bring it in. And then I do the same for the inner part of my eye. I just don't want to totally change the color of my face. I just need it to be bright in the areas where I want it to be bright, because I feel like back when I used to like do triangles on my under eyes and I would put excessive amount of product, it just totally changed the way that my makeup looked. It was just so heavy feeling as well. So this part right here where I put my foundation just looked like it was just concealer like up to here, and I just did not enjoy that. But I know a lot of people still do that, and if you guys feel like that's something that you like to do, like definitely still do it. But I personally just feel like less is more now that I am older. Another thing that I have been enjoying doing is using the e.l.f. concealer brush. This is $3 and it's so good. I just pat it on, and sometimes I even just like use this straight away without even using my fingers, but I do like warming the product up. So I feel like on this side I put a little bit too much concealer. It doesn't drag your makeup away, it just blends it so beautifully, and I think the size is so nice as well. Kind of just buffs out the product and just gives it a flawless finish. I also sometimes use a sponge as well. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. I'm just using my Juno sponge. If you're more comfortable with that, I just really like brushes, but I also still use my sponges as well. Okay, next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set my under eyes really quickly. I'm just gonna use my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. This just makes everything look flawless. I absolutely love this. I'm using it in number 10, but I have used other shades as well for all over my face. Every time I use this, somebody always tells me how beautiful my skin is because it just like makes it look so seamless and flawless. So I'm gonna use it on my under eyes, and I don't bake anymore, so I'm just gonna tap that in using a brush. I also use my sponge sometimes. I grab my sponge, put a little bit on it, and then I just dab. This one though, it's not baking, but it gives me more coverage and more product. So sometimes I just do a sprinkle, but sometimes I also do a little bit more product, but not bake. So since I did that on my other eye, I'm gonna do it here. You guys can see how beautiful my under eyes look right now just because of this powder. It is so flawless, so beautiful. Okay, that was a little bit too much. And then I also just concentrated on this area because I know it's this area that I get like really oily. Just on the areas where I know I get super, super oily. So that's where I'm putting it. I forgot I needed to dust my face a little tiny bit, just like the tiniest bit with powder, and I'm gonna be using the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. It just gives the glow back into my skin. I'm gonna show you guys how amazing this product is, but you don't really notice it, only if you build it up. So I'm just gonna put it here. Then I'm gonna show you guys. Look at how glowy that is. And if you build it up, same area. I got this in a medium. The only thing that I don't like about it is that if I put too much of it, it leaves me a little bit gray. That's why I'm just very careful about just like stamping it on my face just a tiny bit so that my face still has that shine, that glow, but also sets my face as well. Now we move on to the cheek area and bringing back color to my face. So I'm gonna go in with a contour by Milani. This one is the Sun-Kissed Silky Matte Bronzing Powder, but this is definitely a cool tone powder, so I use this for my contour. I'm very, very careful with it as well. I just use a very small domed brush and I just put that a little bit and then create the contour that I want. So I do buffing motions and I'm just very careful as well because this can look muddy if you put too much on it. Like I don't want anything to be too like muddy looking on my skin. Moving on to bronzer, I am going to be using the Milani Soleil Baked Bronzer in number 5. At first, I was really scared of this because I saw chunks of glitter, but if you do this in buffing motions, I realized that it's not glittery at all. So I'm going to be using a big fluffy brush, and then I'm going to start off in the back and just buff it in. It gives you a nice sun-kissed look without being too glittery. I'm also very careful about the placement of my cheek products because my face is rounder. My face is oval, but it's still rounder on the cheek area. So I want to make it look a little bit more like chiseled. So I don't really concentrate a lot on my apples, just more on this area. So I stop right here. I'm moving on to highlighter. I usually put my highlighter before I do my blush because I want the glow to be coming from within. I feel like when you do your highlighter before your blush, it just looks less like in your face and more, it looks more like it's coming from within. So I am gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna use it's a blending brush, but I love using this for highlight application. Sometimes I also just use a fan brush, but this is more concentrated. And I'm just gonna put it right here. I forgot to mention that I'm using the Essence Nude highlight, and this is just has been a staple for so long. It is a nice highlighter, but it's not in your face. It just gives you the most beautiful subtle glow. And I'm just gonna stop right here. Again, I'm very particular about the placement of certain products on my face. I just don't want it to go too far. Also gonna put it at the tip of my nose so we can have an instant nose lift. Just like that. And then I'm gonna put it right here. It instantly lifts my nose, and then I'm just gonna dab a little bit on this area because that is where the sun touches the part of my face first. A little bit over here, just like the high points of my face. That makes sense, and then over here as well. Next, we're gonna go in with blush. The blush that I've been enjoying is Becca's Wild Honey Blush. This reminds me so much of NARS Madly as well. It's just a matte blush with tiny bit of like sheen to it, just a little tiny bit. And it's so beautiful. If you guys have the same skin tone as me, it just looks like a natural flush. It's not too pink, it's not too red, it's not too cool or warm. It just gives you a nice flush for your cheeks, especially if you're more of like a medium skin tone. I lean more to yellow, but I like neutral foundations more than yellow because I feel like nowadays yellow is just so stark when it comes to my face. So I'm just gonna use a blush brush for this. I am using the Sonia Kashuk one. So I'm gonna place this right here. Just like that. It's so beautiful. It kind of just reminds me of all the like peachy but natural blushes that I've loved. So NARS Madly, and then I know I haven't tried it, but it kind of looks like Burt's Bees cinnamon, like that cinnamon one. I don't know how to explain it. And as you guys can see, the placement of it just makes my face look more chiseled and like longer instead of just like concentrating it in the middle and then pulling my face like inside, but also making it rounder. So I'm very particular about where that goes. Since I put my highlighter first, it just looks like it's blended instead of it just being like a line right here. So make sure that everything is blended and just like smooth and connected. Now that that's done, we're gonna move on to lashes. I wanna talk about the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift. The brush for this one is so nice. It's just like a brush bristle, not plastic. I have to do this so that you guys can see it. So there you go. It's just a nice hourglass brush applicator. It's not plastic, and I really enjoy that about it. So it gives me a lash lift, but also gives me a volume that, like natural volume that my lashes need. You can definitely see the difference between the one with it and the one without it. Like it just gives you a natural volume, and it lifts your lashes just the right amount where it looks natural still. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with some falsies. I have been using the Pompadour ones and the Page Boys. Okay, I don't know where it stopped, but I am just gonna put my lashes on, and I will be putting the ones that I put on the screen because I'm not quite sure. It's either Pompadour or Page Boy. Those are just the two that I alternate when it comes to everyday lashes. They're just so natural and pretty. It tapers from the front to the back, which I really like. Just it gives it that nice elongated look. That is one lash down. It's just so pretty and so natural. I absolutely love it. All right, both lashes are now on. I usually put liquid eyeliner just to fill in the areas where it looks a little bit dirty or muddy from like eyeshadow or whatever. I'm gonna do that later. Now I'm gonna go in with a gel liner that I've been loving. This is the LA Girl Glide Gel Liner in black. It's just so black and it stays on your waterline so well. Before we do anything, I'm just gonna spritz a little bit. I should have done this before I did my mascara and everything just so it doesn't get wet, but now I'm just gonna cover that area. L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow Dew Mist. I am almost out and I need a new one. It just brings back the glow into my face. I absolutely love glowy stuff. And it also melts my makeup together. Especially if I'm using too much powders, I feel like this can correct it very easily. So I'm just gonna cover this area up and then I just use a fan to bring it all together. I forgot to mention that sometimes I like putting mascara on my lower lashes, sometimes I don't. It depends on my mood. I don't want to do that today. I think I'm just gonna leave it like this for a bit. You can also add a little bit of eyeliner at the bottom if you want to, but again, I'm just gonna leave mine like this. And now we're gonna move on to the lips. This one is just a recent purchase, but I've been using it so much. And this is the e.l.f. Ride or Die Lip Balm in Tough Cookie. I saw I Love Sarai talk about this, Karen, and this is just so nice. The color that it leaves is so beautiful, but it also has that consistency where it just moisturizes your lips and doesn't make it dry or flaky. It is so dense, but like I'm just gonna... I apologize for my crusty lips, but I did use the Laneige stuff. So that color is just so nice and natural. Okay, you guys, my card was full right when I was doing the outro, so I'm just gonna do the outro on my phone. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I asked the poll on my Instagram whether you wanted me to do a makeup tutorial or you wanted me to do makeup favorites, and it was 50-50. Therefore, I did this, so I'm hoping that it appeases both sides. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments section what you guys thought about it and what has been your favorite makeup product for the past few months. Let me know. Also, please do not forget to subscribe and also hit that bell so you guys are updated every time I upload a new video. And of course, give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. So that is it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Mwah.